Coach, this week you play Maine. They got off kind of a rough start this year, losing their first 4 games, but they've been on a roll recently, winning the last 5. What can we expect to see from Maine?
Um, very, when you watch film, I look at a little bit of everything, and you look at their sideline, very um, uh, active and exciting. They're gonna come here, ready to play. They're very well coached. They don't do a lot. Um, uh, Schematically, I mean, they're going to throw the ball to their guy. They're going to hand the ball off to their guy. But it's not like they got a bunch of things that they try to throw at you. Unlike special teams, there are a lot of things that they do throw at you. Special teams wise. So you have to really be on your toes, special team wise. They've ran fake punts. They've ran fake 2-point plays. They've ran fake field goals. They've taken a kickoff back for a touchdown. So, on one side of it, offensively, they do what they do, and then special teams wise, you got to be ready for anything and everything. And then defensively, I don't want to say they do a lot because they really don't. They're just good at what they do. And so, they have blitzes that they like, and they just play hard and run to the football. So, they don't have a bunch of different things that they do schematically, defensively. They just play hard and they play fast.
Hampton's been known since you've been here as a running team. Kind of been back and forth between a lot of passing yards one game and a lot of rushing yards the next. You looking for more balance, or you still trying to emphasize the running game?
No, again, I'm always looking to be more balanced. That again helps us offensively when we're able to kind of do both. I think that's the thing that kept us in the game. Last week against Monmouth is, I know we didn't have a lot of rushing yards, but we did enough to keep them a little bit off balance. And I thought, we were able to do some things, and so. Of course, I definitely want to be able to be balanced, and it just kind of depends on what they give us, defensively. They're very stingy in the run game. I think there's maybe one team that's rushed for over 100 yards against them. So you have to be smart and pick the right time when you want to run the football.
In the last game, we lost to a nationally ranked Monmouth team, 28-10, but it really had I thought, a really good effort from the players. It was a team that was averaging 42 points a game, held them down and kept them off balance. You want to talk about that game a little bit?
I think, offensively, we went in saying, and again, I say offensively, that, they keep them from scoring points. Offensively, we got to stay on the field. And I thought we did a pretty good job of limiting their opportunities that they got to be on the field. So, kept our defense fresh. We were able to move the ball, but costly penalties, took away points from us and big drives. But again, I thought we did a good job offensively of staying on the field and keeping their offense, off the field, and then again allowing our defense to play fresh. I think that was big for us to, get to that point in the fourth quarter. We talked about it all week. We wanted to get in striking range in the fourth quarter, and we were in striking range in the fourth quarter. And so again, it's kind of the same record. If we can just put a whole 4 quarters together, we showed signs and spurts. We just haven't put the whole game together yet.
This past weekend, there was no game, had a bye week, so we had an extra weekend off. How good was it not to, at this point in the season, after having played 3 quarters of the season,
Right.
at this point?
Nine games in before you get a break. Our guys needed it. I think everybody needed it. Coaches and players and trainers and everybody to kind of just get a reset button and get a chance to, for our guys to kind of, everybody's banged up, but to take that time where you can kind of mentally kind of recharge and physically recharge, and it was good for our guys. We practice, maybe only an hour, a day, and just kind of gave them a chance to get back to doing some fundamental things and working individual drills, and then spent more time watching film, and not so much of Maine this week's game, but just going back and look at some things of how we could have got better. What are some things that could have turned the game another way, and so it's just spent more time looking at ourselves and figuring out what we're good at, some things that we need to improve on and work on. So we spent more time worried about ourselves than anything else.
You played a nationally ranked Villanova team and a nationally ranked Monmouth team. But Maine is 1-5 in a row. They're not nationally ranked, but they're red hot right now.
Yes.
And of course, down the stretch, you also have Rhode Island, which is in the top 10. The schedule doesn't do you any favors.
Yep.
That's part of the season.
All we can do is play the next one. That's all we can do right now, is just be focused on this game on Saturday. Again, to have opportunity to play home. You don't have to travel, which is always a bonus. And so hopefully, again, with the bye week and getting the guys to kind of get mentally and physically back ready to play, gives us a chance to go out there and compete, like I know we're capable of doing, and putting it all together this Saturday.
Coach, talking more about Maine, Hampton's only played them once, haven't seen them in 3 years now. A lot of the teams you guys have faced, you see them every year, every other year. Is there any kind of extra homework or a different way that you prepare for a team that you maybe just haven't seen on the field in a while?
I think you go back and see common opponents. I think that's the thing that you do with a team like that you don't see is, okay, who have they played that you've played, and so we've tried to do a good job of finding common opponents, similar styles that we have that another opponent may have. So, and then you reach out to some people that to kind of get their feel, guys that maybe you don't play but in this conference, and you reach out to them as well and kind of talk to them about what did you see in the game, because it's always different as you break an opponent down and you watch them on film, and then when you actually play them. And so when you can talk to a coach that's played them, you can get some insight on, hey, this guy is probably a little better than maybe what he looks like on film. He's a little faster than what he may look like on film, so you kind of get some of those ideas from them guys. So again, you try to turn over every rock that you can when you don't play a team like you do on a consistent basis.
And also, you kind of talked a little bit about maybe doing some self-reflecting on the team season so far. Is there any kind of points of emphasis that you kind of are focusing on for the rest of the season, either on the field or
Discipline.
practice?
Discipline. When you go back and you just go watch these last games, you just the discipline part of it, and that's all we've been stressing last week and starting this week in practice is we have to be disciplined. You have to find a way to control your emotions. You have to find a way to stay locked in on critical downs, and I think those are the things that when you go back and we self-evaluate ourselves, it's man, we're at the 6-yard line and have a chance to score, and you get a holding penalty, or you're in the red zone area and you get a false start, and it's like whatever you have to do, it has to lock in even more. And again, it's not that you don't want to have a false start on 1st and 10 at your own -30, but when you start looking at things in this season is what have hurt us on all 3 phases, it just seems like at the critical moment, at the critical time, we kick a bad ball, we jump off sides, we have a personal foul, and it's like, why? Why at this moment of the game, we're right here. We're down by 3, we're down by 7, we're driving, and so that's been the emphasis last week, and I'm just keep discipline, 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 and holding them guys accountable to that from the time they step on the practice field till we get off. It's all the minute things that we have to lock in on to get us over this hump.
Any more questions? All right, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.